Joenio Marques da Costa, and he will be introducing you to live coding setup. With that, you can generate music, and if you were to, okay, once again, yeah. So if you were to have a question, ask a question. So I will be coding along with him. So probably this person or the mic will be there. You can speak up or raise hands, get the mic, and go about asking questions. Thank you.
Hello, hello. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Good to see that all of you came, and I'm happy to see many faces interested in this subject. This workshop is going to be around max 2 hours, I think less than 2 hours, maybe 1 hour and a half would be enough. And the main purpose today here is to show you what is live coding, very brief introduction, and then the first steps, especially how to install and set up. I am starting some efforts to improve Debian regarding live coding tools. Then the main goal here is to do it on top of Debian. But if by any reason you don't have Debian in your laptop, it's possible also to follow the workshop here, because the tool that I am going to focus here today, it's available for many different platforms, not only Linux, but also other platforms as macOS and Windows as well. Then, if you want to get some, to follow the slides, I'm gonna use some slides and some links, and all the links is documented here in the, if you go to the schedule and you click in this activity, this workshop, live coding tools on Debian, how to install and set up. Then inside this, the information of this workshop, at the end of the page, we have this Etherpad here. And in this Etherpad, I added the agenda that we're gonna see here today, and also many links that you can follow to find more information. Okay, then let's start. I would like first to say some 2 or 3 words about what is live coding. Live coding is a kind of technique where we can produce sounds or visuals or even mechanical movements or anything else through the real-time programming. Then we have many people interested only in the music part, sound. We have people interested in visual artists also using live code to produce visual art. And also many types of experimentations crossing live coding with choreography or body movement or even robots, also to create experimentations in general. But beyond the practice, also the live coding is a community, a big community of people creating technology, but in a less utilitarian way. Also, people are building technologies just for artistic purpose, like creating new tools, new languages, and plenty of new technology, but without the constraints and commitment with the industry to build products or etc. Then you can find these slides in the link I provided for you. If you are more interested to know about live coding, you have some links here for documentaries, interviews, and etc. about the topic. In practical ways, we have 2 big communities around the world. One is TopLab, and another one is algorithm, then if you are interested, search for those words in the Google, then you're gonna find websites and people around this topic. That's it. Everything I have to share about the live coding community is finished. And now I would like to talk a little bit about some technical background to start in this world. First, any tool we're gonna use today, or maybe any other tool if you are interested to produce music or anything regarding live coding tool, for sure you're gonna face Jack. Jack is a professional sound server available for Linux platform. Then, for example, any live coding tool requires Jack. Then you have to deal with Jack, and Jack is very powerful, but also it does a lot of possibilities. You can face many issues set up in it. Then it's important to know that Jack is something that eventually we're gonna have to set up it, install, and etc. And more recently, the community started to create a new kind of replacement for Jack. That's a step in the evolution of this kind of audio system. The name is PipeWire. Then if you run a recent version of any Linux distribution, like the last Debian stable 12, I think it's by default it comes with PipeWire, then you don't need to deal with Jack because PipeWire is already available and it's much more easy to deal than Jack. But we're gonna see it in practical ways in a few minutes. Then now let's start the practical thing. Today we're gonna see the focus is gonna be one tool. The name is SonicPi. SonicPi is one tool among many other tools we have available to do live coding. And that one is very easy to install, very easy to start, and the language, the syntax is very clean. Then that's my propose today. For who doesn't have yet SonicPi installed, I suggest you to visit the web page of SonicPi, or if you have Debian installed, if you are running Debian, you just need to do apt-get install. Apt SonicPi. If you have Debian or Ubuntu or any Debian-based system, that's all you have to do. Install SonicPi package, and you're gonna have SonicPi available in your machine. If you are using something else, not Ubuntu, not Debian, or not any distribution where you have it available as a package, visit the upstream website and scroll down a bit until you find the links here to download and to install in your machine. Then, as the proposal here is to do it in the practical ways, my goal here is to support you to have this working and running properly. And I will not advance to the next step until everyone, at least everyone who is interested to have it installed and running. Okay? Then I'm gonna do a break now. I will not use the microphone anymore. I will be available here in the room. Then we have to take some time to install and to run it in our laptops. Okay? If someone has any question, issues, please call me that I go to you to see how we can manage. And meanwhile, I will just open SonicPi in my computer to do a very show you how it works in the basic ways and how is the interface of this tool. I have it installed already. Then okay, I have it. This is the interface. Let me see if it works. I will play something here. Let me delete this old code. Let's see if this sound works. I'm gonna play a note. See? Okay, it works. Then that's the goal now. At least all of you who are here with time and interested in with your laptop, the goal is to have at least this minimal example working. Then, okay? My mic, okay. The PipeWire Jack package, what this package does is it creates an environment around the software we are running, and it creates the same interface compatible with Jack, but at the end, it's connected with the PipeWire. Then it's a way to run any software that supports only Jack to make it working properly with PipeWire. Does it work now? Great, amazing. test. Oh, wait, one important thing, if you are facing issues if you plug your headphone after Sonic Pi is running, Sonic Pi is not able to switch the sound to your headphone. Then the solution is close Sonic Pi and open it again, and usually it works. Okay. Someone else need help? Everyone has Sonic Pi working, because then when we reach this point, we're gonna enter a little bit in the syntax of the Sonic Pi, and I'm gonna present you the web interface, because we have many interesting features in the graphical user interface of Sonic Pi. Hello, hello, hello. I think now everyone has SonicPy running. With everyone is able to produce some noise. It's working for you? Okay, then let's advance now a bit. Then I will talk about two main differences when we are playing music in this kind of environment. Is important. Sorry, it's in Portuguese, but he is synthesizers. The two subjects that it's important to know is the difference between samples and synthesizers. In this command that all of you use it right now, the play function is producing sounds through a synthesizer that is available inside the SonicPy. And synthesizers are able to produce sounds from nothing, where it's not a previous recorded audio that it's playing. It's a kind of, it's using some kind of oscillators and all of these technologies that was developed around the electronic music. Then it's using this type of thing implemented in a software way to produce sound. Then this is synthesizers. The play function in SonicPy use synthesizers. But also we have other way to play music in SonicPy that it's samples. I have here just two examples of, for example, what is a sample? Sample is any sound we can record from the environment. For example, it doesn't play. Please work. No. Well, it doesn't work. But any sound we record from the environment, if you play a guitar and you record it with your mic and you save in a WAV file, in our MP3 file, doesn't matter, this is a sample. And what are synthesizers? Let me see if this one works. For example, everything. This is a sample recorded, but it was generated by a synthesizer, a voice synthesis sound. Everything. For example. Or, for example, games that we have in the past, many games were using synthesizers to create sounds. Then this is the two big difference. Then, for example, in SonicPy, we have the play function to play synthesizers, or also we have the sample function to play samples. Then if you type in your SonicPy, instead of play, I will play again. Then it produces a sound produced by a synthesizer, but I can use sample, and I use the sample name here, and in the documentation, we have the documentation of many different samples available in the SonicPy library. I will play one here randomly. This is a sample. Someone recorded a WAV file, and is available inside SonicPy in a kind of library of sounds. And that's the two big difference when we play music through live coding, is to understand that sometimes we are playing sounds generated by synthesizers, and some other times we are using samples that sometimes it has more or less the same effect in terms of the same sound, but internally the way the technology it's using to play the sound is completely different. Then I have here one example that I'm gonna play here to show you another function that is very useful. Is the function sleep, to wait a certain amount of time between one code and the other. In this code here, what it's gonna do is it will play the sample, then it's gonna wait for half second, then it's gonna evaluate the next command, then it's gonna wait for half second, and so on. For example, let me play it. I hope it works. Then with this, you can, let's say, compose something. You can play one music or one sample, then we'll wait seconds, then we play something else, and you can play a lot with this. With those 3 functions, we are able already to produce many things. Okay. But the live coding practice gets interesting, really interesting, when we have loops. And then we have another function that's live loop, when we can repeat the execution in an infinite loop. Then here, for example, live loop function works in this way. We have live loop is the name of the function. Here is one identifier, is like a function name, variable name, is a string. You can use any name you want. Then do and here, and inside here, this is gonna be executed in an infinite loop forever. Then I will copy and paste it here. Then it runs forever. And how it gets interesting. If I change the code, for example, I'm gonna switch from 60 to 120 in this function play. I replace it previously 60. Now I'm gonna change it to 120, and if I evaluate it again, then you can keep the loop forever, and you can change the code, and in that moment you are doing live coding. Then you are like playing an instrument where you can improvise or you can do anything. This is true. Yeah. Then I would like to ask all of you to at least reach this point where you are able to do a live loop. If you have an issue, please call me. I'll go to help you. Hello, hello. Well, I would like to share with you a little bit about the interface of Sonic Pi, okay? Here, we have, in this area, we have the place where you already know, you are typing code here. This is the text editor. But here, we have some controls. For example, I can increase the font size in this button here, size. Okay, and something else. And here we have the play, stop, and recording. I can record the session, for example. If I click in record, it is started. It's recording already. I am not playing nothing, but it's recording. If I play, it's gonna it's recording everything. And if I am happy, okay, I did everything, I don't have it anymore, I stop it. Then if I click in rec again, it offers me where I want to save the file. Then it's gonna create a wave file, for example. Then you can record your sessions, create some piece of work, or even you can use it to create, let's see, sound effects. If you are producing a game, for example, and you want to create some piece of music or sound for your game, you can use it, or for something else. If you produce any kind of thing that you need music, sounds, you can use it to record and to use the recorded sound as input in something else. Every function in SonicPy has parameters as any other function in any other programming language. Then one very common function is the rate function, for example. We can change the pitch of the sample. For example, let me play just this here. By default, if I don't use, let me increase the font size, sorry. By default, if I don't say nothing, the default rate is 1. I will play with the default value first. And if I change it, let's say 0.5, it's gonna play in 50% of the pitch of the sample. It's gonna play it more slow than if the rate is low, the sound is more grave, and otherwise the sound is more, if I play it in 200%, and one interesting thing about SonicPy is we have the documentation available here in this corner. Then you can find the documentation about the functions, the samples, the synthesizers we have available for us, and everything else. Another function interesting is the amplifier, where we can increase the volume. For example, it's amp. By default, it's 1. This is the default. But if I play it with 0, for example, it will be muted because its volume is completely 0. If I play it with 200%, it's gonna be a little bit high, the volume. Okay? Then you can change it as you wish as well. And in the documentation, you can find many others parameters and different functions. Important to say that SonicPy, it was created in the beginning from Ruby language. Then the syntax is almost Ruby. But little by little, the project started to create another language. Then nowadays, it's almost compatible with Ruby, but it's not Ruby. It doesn't run Ruby, in fact. But if you copy and paste any Ruby code you have everywhere, probably it's gonna work, but maybe not. Then many libraries, for example, if you install a library, you can use the library, the Ruby library inside the environment. I think I have never tried, but in theory it works. And about the samples, you can see a list of samples here in the documentation available inside the SonicPy, but you can bring any sample you have in your computer. For example, I downloaded from internet one sample here. Where is it? It's here in this directory. Here. Then I have one sample here, wave file. I got it from internet. And if I get the path, the full path, the absolute path of this file, I can play it inside Sonic Pi, for example. But you have to use it inside quotes or double quotes because it's sample accepts as string. Then if I paste here the full path of the sample in the sample function, for example, this is the full path, home, Joenio, blah, 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 until the dot wave. If I play it, we can listen the sample. Then you can download, you can create your own library of samples.
I do not see it.
Okay.
It is this unseen power which makes itself felt and yet defies all proof because it is so.
Okay. Questions? Curiosity? Issues? Problems? Someone would like to talk, say something? No, no, no. Yes?
So when I do play and sample again and again, so when I do play and sample again and again, there's a discontinuous. So the sample one doesn't sound while the play one.
Yeah, it's gonna create layers and layers and layers and layers.
How do you merge them?
You have to use sleep, for example, to wait until the sample will finish.
Right,
Or if you really want this layer, you can keep it.
right. So no, I don't want layers like something like that. That the last one has to like pass on for the next one, something like that.
Yes, if the next one lasts more than the sleep time you add at the end, the next one, the loop, will be played together. This type of thing is not easy, in fact, what you are asking. It's very complex. When we try it the first time, we have in our mind a lot of already reference about the music that we are listening already. Then the first step is, okay, I will try to do the same rhythm of the music I like. Then it's a big challenge. It's possible. And but you have to try it. It's like programming. You have an issue, then you have to study. You have to try many things, and you have to experiment until you reach what you are looking for. For example, yeah. And also there are many functions. I am not so experienced in Sonic Pi. But in the program, in the functions we have, for sure you have functions to say, okay, this sample lasts, let's say the sample is 10 seconds, but I don't want to play the full 10 seconds. I want to play just from the second 2 until the second 5. For sure you have a function for that, a parameter in the sample function for that, like maybe something like begin and end, for example. But I don't know, let me see. I would search it in the documentation. Yeah, the start, for example, if finish. Yeah, for example, this sample I have here, the one I downloaded, is very big. It lasts, I think, more than 1 minute. Let's see, I would like to play only a small portion of that. I will say start in the position 0, 0, and finish in the position 0.05. Let's see.
There is an indefinable, mysterious power that pervades everything.
Yeah, you see? Less.
There.
I'm gonna play something here just for fun.
There.
And you have a you can evaluate the code also typing Alt R in your keyboard.
Very,
Evaluate the sound as well.
very,
And it's more easy than clicking in the run button in the corner.
very, 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 very.
Yes, thank you.
Very, 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 There is an indefinable, mysterious power that pervades everything. I feel it, though I do not see it. It is this unseen power which makes itself felt and yet defies all proof, because it is so unlike all that I perceive through my senses.
Hello, sorry. Then I will repeat again from the beginning. Then one thing interesting also is the with effects function, where we can apply effects like echo, reverb, flanger. If you play guitar, you know a lot of effects already. Then we can use it in the sample. Also, we can use this in the play function. And the block here that it's surrounded by the with effects is gonna be affected by the effect. Then here we have a list of effects, for example, in the documentation here, FX. Then you can use it as many effects differently. And as the same thing as the functions, we can put a comma and we have parameters for the effect, for example. You can modify how the effect works. Then it depends on the effect. The effect is going to have different kind of parameters. Okay. What else? What else?
When we are writing multiple loops, right, like live loop and all those things, so is it playing after one piece of audio is completed, or is it playing parallelly?
It plays the full source code. For example, when I evaluate, it executes everything in this file. And if you don't put, for example, we have to add. We have to add the. I will remove this to simplify the code. We have to add the sleep here to wait. For example, if I don't add sleep here inside a loop, it's gonna complain. This the software is not able to play if I don't add I sleep. It's gonna crash. You see? It played only once and it crashed because it's you have to explicitly say, okay, I want to wait some amount of time between each action. Otherwise, it's gonna, let's say, execute infinite executions of the same function in the same time. Then the language is not able to do that. Then when we execute, it starts the execution of the first line of the code, and it executes one line until the end of the source code. And here in this environment, we have 9 different tabs, let's say, and we can play freely. If I put one here, for example, I will put the sleep back, otherwise it's gonna fail. I am here in the number 1. I can switch to the number 2. It's a new file. And I can play something else here, and the other one will continue play. It will continue play being played. Sorry. Then it keeps running until I want to stop. And when I stop, it stops everything. It stops the code I executed here and the code I executed here as well.
Like now you wrote this live loop function in like the first tab, right, instead of the 0th tab. So if it was kept in the first tab also, like in the 0th tab also, how would have that execution order been? Like
the execution is almost the same. This the thing is, for example, the live loop. This function, if you should use, if you want to have 2 or 3 or more live loops in parallel, you have to name it with different names. This is the name of the loop. If I repeat this code here and I change it and I keep the same name, the last execution is gonna overwrite the previous one, for example. I don't know if it's if answered the question. For example, let me do it. Then you see the last code overwrited the previous one because the same name of the live loop. But if I change the name, then it's gonna be both at the same time.
Very, 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 very.
We can change also the synthesizers we are using. In this case, in the function play, by default, it's using some synthesizer. And we can use, I think the name is with synth. Then I can switch the synthesizer. Let me select the synthesizer here, FM. No, it's use, not with. Use synth. Then I select the synthesizer, autocomplete. What's nice. No. FM. Then the same play function, the same note, but different sound, because internally I asked SonicPy to select a different synthesizer. Then we have many synthesizers, like synthesizer that looks like a piano, some synthesizers look like a guitar, and bandolin, etc., etc. There are many different synthesizers. Start combining functions. For example, there is one function, choose, that you give a list of arguments, a list of values, an array, and in each interaction, this function is going to select randomly one item inside the list, for example. Then I added the C, D, and E, and in each loop, it's going to select C or D or C or E randomly. Okay? that's it. You can combine functions and functions. It depends on what you are interested in. You can go deep in the documentation and find everything. Everything is very well documented. The SonicPy documentation is really good. And then you can combine functions and also your knowledge that you have already in programming. You can apply it here if you know a bit of programming.
So is it possible to choose between the sleep times as well?
The sleep time?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, you can use this choose the function as the same. For example, inside you can put, let's say, 2, 3, 1, then it's gonna select 1 and it's gonna sleep 1, or in the next time it's gonna select 2. I will show you. Yeah, for example, I'm gonna do a small example here about this. This one. Then here it's selecting randomly. I sleep each time it execute the loop.
So what if we want to, is it possible to iterate over a list of arrays like this in order as well? This is randomly choosing, right? So what if we want to do it something in order?
Yeah, there is I don't remember right now, but there is a function that they name it, I think, as ring. Then you create a ring of thing and you pick one number, the next number, and the last number, when it finishes, it's gonna go to the first one again.
Thank you.
I think it's pick, ring and pick. Let me see. In fact, I don't remember, but we have a function for that. Well, another function, interesting function, is the pan function. Pan, you select the side you want to play the music. If I am not wrong, 0 is left, 1 is right, and 0.5% or 50% is balanced. Yeah, -1 maybe, yeah. And 0, I think it's balanced. Let's see. No, I am using it wrong. It's not sleep. It's pan. Yeah. -1. I think it's gonna play in the left. And the 1 is gonna play in the right side. I don't know if I have stereo from my sound here, but that's the idea. You can test it with your headphone. I think the experience will be more interesting. But yes, it works. If you see here the spectrum here, it's the upper part. It's one side, and the other part is, you see, it's playing 100% in one side, and yeah, you can. And 0.5 or 0, I think, is center. It's gonna, yeah, 0 is centered. Okay, someone has any question? The mic. Wait.
I know the purpose of live coding is demonstrating the code on a screen and showing it in on a live manner, but still, is there a way to not record and directly compile the code which we have written into a WAV file or something?
You mean you would like to execute it by the command line, for example, and to render it in a final sound?
Yeah.
Without seeing the code in your screen?
No, yeah. Anyway, I have to write it in IDE and like general, similar to how we compile the C program or Golang. Can I compile it into a sound audio file without in a?
I think I am issue problems with the English. Did you understand? Ah, yes, you can save it. Yes, you can save it in a I think RB, that is almost Ruby language, and you can put it in your repository in
No.
Git, commit, that's it, no?
My question is actually without, like we were opening an interpreter kind of thing and writing code and generating the sound, right? So I was thinking, maybe my question was writing a Ruby file and maybe Sonic Pi compile it into a WAV file or something, and we get an output WAV file.
Okay, I understand. Usually, I don't know, in fact. Actually, I don't know. I don't know no one using this way, no. But I think it's possible. But I don't know how. Sonic Pi maybe not, but other tools, maybe it would be more easy to do like that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's possible. More questions?
So if there's like a copyright piece, maybe like Come Together Beatles, if I were to put that, compose it here, will that be a problem if I publish it, or will there be a problem to me if I go about making it public or something?
No. It depends on if you are using samples. You
Right.
must be careful about
Right.
the copyright of the samples are you
Okay.
using.
Okay.
For example, I am not sure what are the license in the samples Sonic Pi included in the inside the project.
Right.
But for example, if you are using only synthesizers,
Right.
I am pretty sure that everything is open source, the license.
Okay.
I say it because, for example, right now I am doing some effort to
Right.
package something that is not available on Debian.
Right.
It's another live coding tool.
Right.
The name is Foxdot. It's
Right.
based on Python, and it does almost the same thing, but the syntax is Python. At the
Right.
end, it's Python interpreter. And for example, the upstream of this tool, he included many samples in the library of Foxdot, but he lost the track from where he got all of those files. Then, for example, maybe among those files we have some copyrighted files that I can't use.
Right.
But if you use everything, if you know the license of the samples you are using, then no problem. You can produce, you can release albums, you can produce any kind of artwork and make it publicly. There is no issues regarding that. Many people are doing it. It's very common. It's no problem.
Can I ask more questions?
Yeah, sure.
So like, let's just say I just know only like basic elements of instruments, maybe like snare, bass, and stuff like that. So is it like recommended to understand an instrument and what it can generate and sort of go about some basic composition and then putting it out here?
It's not a requirement.
Right.
But if you know, it helps a lot.
Right.
If you know some theory, some music theory, or some theory about how synthesizers work, it helps a lot. Because many functions we have in the languages comes from this word.
Right.
Then if you know in advance what, for example, flanger is an effect. If you know in advance what flanger means, because you already played the guitar in the past and you know that you have a pedal flanger, then if you see the function flanger, you say, okay, I understand. This is a flanger function. Then it's going to be more easy for you, but it's not a requirement. Many people that even doesn't know programming or doesn't know any kind of, doesn't have any experience with with music in advance, start using and they learn in its own way, and they use it in its own way. There is no requirement because you can apply it in many different contexts. Then you can even use it to create noise. A lot of people are trying to create sound art. For example, you can be an artist where you are not interested in composing music, but you are interested only in sound manipulation. It's like a painter. We have many painters who is not trying to reproduce real pictures, but they are creating abstract things. Then the sound is a kind of material where you can manipulate it in many different ways. Then there is no requirements to have, but it helps if you know.
Can I ask questions that are not related to Sonic Pi as well?
Yeah, sure.
So so the document said like the Tidal Cycles, so which I installed, and it's Haskell.
Yes.
So do you have a background in functional programming as well?
I don't have a background in functional programming. I started to be more interested in functional programming due to the Tidal Cycles because I loved the Tidal Cycles mindset. Then I saw that it's based in Haskell. Then I started to be more interested. Since then, when I have time, I spend some time learning and studying functional programming. But until now, I can't say that I know functional programming. It's still one issue that in my personal, is in my wish list of things that I would like to learn more.
So how does like newbies get into like music theory?
Sorry?
Like a newbie, right, who doesn't know anything about music. How can he get started with music theory?
With Sonic Pi.
Thank you.
Sonic Pi is the best. The guy, the upstream, he started this project, and the main goal is to teach children's principles from programming, but also computational concepts and also music theory. Then the guy his name is Sam Aaron. He is financed by the I think Raspberry Pi Foundation, and he is doing a lot of workshops, and he is teaching a lot of children's. And then that's why I proposed this Sonic Pi to this session, because it's very easy to start. And also at the same time, it's not a tool for beginners, because you can use it for many different things. It's not a tool that, okay, I started with Sonic Pi, but soon I have to move to something else because Sonic Pi is going to create some limitations. No, there is no problem to go deep in Sonic Pi. It's so very powerful, and also it's very easy to start.
Okay. So if anybody wants to ask questions, the mic is here.
Hello. So for people who have not studied music scientifically, so what if people have started using this, and suppose they want to ask doubts like, how do I produce a music that goes like T T T T T T? I mean, how can I express it when you are trying to communicate using a forum or something? I mean.
Yeah, that's I don't know. I don't know. Usually, I think what works better is this kind of session here, in person, face to face, where we are together. Then you explain to someone in person, or you bring an example of sound. Okay, I would like to do it. How can I do it? But usually, it's quite difficult to have a sound in your mind and know exactly in advance what code you have to do to reach the goal. Me, myself, I started in live coding Word trying this way, but little by little, I started to give up, and nowadays, what I do is improvisation mainly. Then I like a lot the random functions where I put many values and I let the computer to select to me what it's gonna play. But yes, it's hard. I think it doesn't work in the same way as the forums we have for programming languages in general. That's much more easy to describe the issue you are facing. You just copy paste the error or something else, but it's difficult to express some kind of related to aesthetics in a human language, in written language. I think face-to-face meetings is the way.
I was just asking because suppose someone here got really interested into this, and it will take time to get familiar with this, right? So this is these such opportunities like this are rare. So suppose we want to go after this, I mean, pursue this further. So any tips or something?
Any common channel or Discord to raise questions?
Yes, the two communities I mentioned, they are available on Discord. I will open the.
No, I don't have questions. Yeah, this is, I mean, I was just asking. Like,
This site
okay,
is the place to start.
okay.
From there, you're gonna find links to a mailing list, chat, others channels.
So, do they host conferences as well? Like,
Yes, yes.
Okay.
They host an international conference of live coding.
Wow. Oh,
That one, this year, it was in Utrecht, in
Okay.
Netherlands. And they're gonna do it, I think, next year, as far I know, in China. And they do it every year. Then this is the main, the most important conference. It's half scientific and practical and academic, but also artistic. You have people talking, presenting papers that it's part of their research, and also you have artists just playing or presenting some experiment they do in the same environment. Then it's a really interesting kind of conference because you have in the same space with the same level of recognition, artistic production, scientific production, and also industry and practical production in the same level, and everyone is and you have a lot of interaction with many different profiles.
is this comes under creative coding as well, just like processing Pi?
Sorry?
There's a processing Pi, P5JS.
Huh? What is the question?
Is this like under category of creative coding as well?
Yes.
Okay.
For example, processing also it's present in this. Some people use Some people use processing to do live coding, live presentation, writing code live and evaluating it live. There are many tools. There are people using the proprietary tools, like a very famous one that's Max MSP.
Okay.
It's visual programming when
Okay.
you have blocks and you connect one block with another
Right.
one. If you want tools, if you want
Oh.
to see what are the possibilities,
Right, right.
I
right.
would sorry, not that one. Oops. Yeah, this link, I will copy and paste it here to be more.
Please.
Here in this link, you're gonna see a list of conference, tools, papers,
Could you
books.
paste that in Etherpad as well?
Yeah, sure. Done.
Right. Thank you.
You are welcome.
So what is the team again in the Debian that you're trying to do the live packaging, live coding things packaging or something?
What is that?
Do you have a team name or something?
A team.
Yeah.
I am doing an effort to create a team.
Right.
Until now, is a one-guy team.
Right.
I think.
More to come, I think.
I hope. This is the link. I'm
Okay. Paste
gonna
that
add
too,
the link
please.
here as well.
Right.
In the pad. Then
Thank you.
this is the team. Then the idea of this thing, thanks for the question, is exactly the purpose of this workshop. The creation of this workshop here was motivated by the creation of this team, because the idea is to improve Debian, to offer a really good and nice experience for people who are interested in live coding. Right. Because until now, we have many tools available, but we don't have many tools packaged on Debian yet. SonicPy is packaged. We have many tools already packaged on Debian, but also we have many nice tools that is still missing in Debian. And one of the goals of this team is to start packaging all of these tools on Debian. But the idea of this team is not only to do technical work, but also to create art as a collective. And I hope we can do it. It's an experiment. I don't know how it will be, but I believe that as a Debian community, we can create art together to prove how good Debian is to create art, but also to create the needs to improve Debian to create art. Then that's more or less the feedback loop I believe it's possible to create around the live coding theme. That's it.
Any more questions? Anything? Could be anything, I think. So what do we do?
Joenio, if you have anything more to say, we have 20 more minutes.
Maybe just an invitation tomorrow. Where is it? Here. Tomorrow, I can't find it. Okay, just a final word to invite you to attend the Bird of Father buff around live coding. Tomorrow at 10:30 in this same room here, right? Ponmudi? Yeah, that's it. Then tomorrow I would like to invite all of you who are interested in joining effort. The first step is going to be to package. Then I think the discussion there will be around how we can start or continue doing that. Then all of you are invited. Please come. And that's it. I would like to say thank you.
One last question. It's not related to SonicPy or anything, but it's mainly related to electronic music. So when electronic music and music generation, so most of the music has either an oscillator or a beat which is repeating all the time. But we rarely see other musics which doesn't have a structure and which moves from and fluctuates and goes from here and there. Is there a specific name for that, or like even when I was exploring Sonic Pi, most of the samples are based on beats or like examples. So is there a specific name for this kind of music versus the music which doesn't have structure and
I don't know, in fact. I don't know if we have a specific name for that, but I know people who are using live coding technique to produce sounds, like with a more structured way, without loop, without less experimental and more pop. There are people who are using it to release albums, for example, very recently. One guy released one album. He made 100% using Tidal Cycles, and if you listen it doesn't look like live coding. It's like any kind of pop electronic music. A link, yes, I can share with you. And but what I know, this guy, he developed some kind of scripts or tools to support his needs to create a structure.
One doubt. I mean, so is it possible to make like classical style music which doesn't go in loop all necessarily?
Yes, it's possible. Yeah, for sure, it's possible. For example, you have many ways. Sometimes I try it. What I do is I do a session in my home, and I play and I record it. For example, I have more or less the structure in my mind. Then I start playing and I start recording. Then I play everything I would like to. I have more or less a kind of score in the paper where I remember. Okay, in the minute one, I have to switch to this other instrument. Then I play it in the minute one. But there is no way to code how the music as a whole from the beginning to the end and just execute it and wait it until the end. You have to, like if you enter in a studio with your band and the band execute the music and then someone is recording what the band is playing. You can do it. But for sure there are something else to support this type of thing, but me myself, I don't know.
About and
Okay, so are these sounds we play, are these the actual musical notes like F chord? So these are interchangeable with the actual music notes? The sounds we play, we use like play C, play D, right? So are these like the actual musical notes?
Yes.
Okay.
It is.
Can we like?
Sorry.
Yeah. So can we like make music out of sequences? Maybe like Fibonacci. Can we take Fibonacci and make correspond to map to certain things and play along?
Yeah, I think so. You can.
Okay.
You can also control external instruments through MIDI protocol.
MIDI protocol.
Yeah. You can plug, if you have a synthesizer in your home, or
Right.
if you have a studio, you have many interesting synthesizers.
Right.
You can plug it somehow. You have to have a connection to plug it in the computer. And Sonic Pi is able to send MIDI messages through the cable to the synthesizers.
Oh, wow.
Also. Or also, you can control other softwares in the computer, because we have many softwares. For example, let me see if I have it installed. Yes, for example, this software is a soft synth. It's a synthesizer,
Right.
not live coding. There is no connection with Sonic Pi, but it's a kind of synthesizer where I can, for example, do this type of sound. I have many presets here that I can. Then I can control. It's possible to control this software from Sonic Pi through the MIDI protocol as well.
Okay.
In
Oh,
the
wow.
same way, we could control external.
So this is
MIDI.
like an emulation of a synthesizer.
Yes, it's a synthesizer implemented in the software
Okay.
form. Is an emulation. Yeah.
Yeah. So if we, no, yeah, sure.
So when we are live coding, we will be editing and running specific parts of the file all the time, right?
Yeah.
So what you, just by looking at the file, you may we cannot reproduce the music that we created, right?
No.
So is there any way to reproduce the music? I mean, by storing it in a text form, is it possible? Or
Sorry.
I mean, having something in the text form, and if you feed it somewhere, you can get the music that you actually produced the first. Is that possible? I mean, undo tree or something like that. I mean,
You mean like a MIDI files?
not necessarily. I mean, oh, is it? Oh.
Do you mean like produce music from based like a program stored in a file?
Yes.
Yeah. So like you take the file as an input and just produce a waveform as
Yeah,
a
no.
WWAV.
Not exactly. No, I mean,
Like a file.
no. In this case, when you did it, right? I mean, while the music was playing, he edited it, and the music changed, right? So you change the I mean, based on what you made the changes in the file, the music changed. The file changed. I mean, the new file doesn't correspond to the old music, right? So you lose the music that you made at first.
Yes, it's a version control. Yeah.
But how-
The way to reach it is through a version control system. In fact, I am doing an experiment, not with Sonic Pi, but with Tidal Cycles. I am developing a plugin to my needs, a Vim plugin. And then in this Vim plugin, I enabled Git. Each time I evaluate the code, the Vim commit the change.
that
Then
sounds-
in that way, every time I change the code, I track every change. Then later, I can create, I didn't do it yet, but later my plan is to create a kind of replay. Then,
yeah, that sounds
then
cool,
it,
yeah.
it go through the history of, and it evaluates. But for now, I am just tracking the change.
Right.
But in the future, it's possible in this way. This is through the ideas I have.
Yeah.
But for sure, there are many other ways to maybe. To
So
do the
this
same
plugin
thing.
that you're developing, have you made it open yet? Or is it
Sorry?
still- the plugin that you're developing, is it open yet?
Yes, it's available. The name of this plugin is DebConf. If you are interested, it's available in this website. It's more or less. I don't know if it works for everyone, but for now I am just using it in my environment. But supposed to work well if you use the same environment as me. I am using Debian. Then this is the plugin, the DebConf. It's available in this site. I am trying to keep it updated and documented and etc. That's it. Then for now it supports Tidal Cycles, but it doesn't support Sonic P, not yet. But I have a plan to add support for Sonic P as well, because in this plugin I am creating, my idea is to keep the same interface, final user interface for me. I would like to use Vim all the time, but I would like to switch the program language I am using. I would like to switch to use Tidal Cycles sometimes, but I would like to use Sonic Pi sometimes, but I don't want to change my interface. Then that's the purpose of this tool. Then with DebConf I can connect with many different live coding tools in the same session, in the same way, with the same interface, in the same text editor.
I have one question. So let's just say you take drums and you start hitting things. Will that sort of trans-iterate to like code maybe? If I hit a snare low drum or something, so when I do that, the sound does obviously. Can we take that and sort of convert it to like Sonic Pi code on the fly?
And you mean to record it?
Yeah, we can record that. Is there like a system that sort of take that input as an input and produce Sonic Pi code?
You mean, no, I didn't get, you mean to get samples on the fly?
On the fly.
Yes, you can.
On the fly, and just convert that to like, so if I do like in the drums, can that automatically like translate to Sonic Pi code?
Ah, no, I don't know. Oh, no.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think so.
How about can we record a particular sound and use that as a sample? Only sample, other than, I mean, as a like not sample, but as a like with play a sound as a sound.
I don't get
Okay, so like let's say I record a particular sound,
okay.
like a symbol sound, and then I want to use it with play. Is it possible? No, I don't want to import a like. Yeah, I don't want to import a new audio file or anything, but I want to maybe, if it possible, configure it as a.
Through synthesizers, yes. In fact, synthesizers, in theory, are able to produce any kind of sound. Birds, animals, even voice. Like today, it's very popular. We are in a time where we have many kind of AI to produce like human voice, and it's generated by synthesizers.
Right. Any more questions?
Yeah. So you must have worked with quite a few kinds of these tools like Sonic Pi, right, and Tidal Cycles. I mean, so how would you compare these tools? I mean, there must be drawbacks and advantages for each of them, right? Maybe could you give us
how can I compare?
No. I mean, based on your experience, how would you compare all these tools that are available?
For example, Tidal Cycles is Sonic Pi
and other stuff that you have tried. Yeah.
Yes. In my view, well, I compare it. For me, they are just different instruments. From my needs, Tidal Cycle is much more interesting. Why? Because I think it's based on the Haskell language, where we can write a few code and we can produce many different, a lot of things, changing just a little the code. The code is not so verbose. And for example, the mindset, the architecture of Tidal Cycles is completely different from the architecture of Sonic Pi. For example, in Tidal Cycles, we have already an internal loop by default. Then every evaluation I do, enter in a loop that is already there, running all the time. I don't have to create loops. Then, for example, in Tidal Cycles, I don't have to explicitly say, okay, I want a loop, because everything is already inserted in a loop. Then this is exactly what I love in Tidal Cycles. But why? Because it fits in my mindset. But I don't see big advantages or disadvantages in any of those tools. It depends a lot of how we think, the way we create things, the way we understand the world. Then that's the difference, I think. But for example, in my opinion, Sonic Pi is much more interesting to start. And it's much more interesting to do this type of session here with Sonic Pi instead Tidal Cycles, for example. But Tidal Cycle is my tool. Then if not my tool, I am not the developer. I mean, that's the tool I selected to use then. But if I gonna do a presentation, an artistic presentation, I don't play Sonic Pi. I prefer Tidal Cycles because I am much more experienced in Tidal Cycles, and I can create with more. I am more comfortable to create using Tidal Cycles. Then that's one big advantage also about the ecosystem. Almost everything we see in the live coding community is open and free software. And then that's the nice thing. We have plenty of different options, and we can use different tools, and we can select the tool that fits better in our needs. Yeah, but I can't say, for example, I can't see any advice to give, like, if you are looking this, then try that. It's difficult to state that this tool is better for that, because it depends a lot in the way we use the tool. For example, we can produce exactly the same results using SonicPy and Tidal Cycles. I can create exactly the same thing, but what's gonna change is just the way to reach the final goal. Then I don't see many difference. I think our time is over, right?
Yeah.
Then
Thank you, Joenio, for incredible experience
Thank
and
you.
this. So more question, please feel free to reach out to Joenio, and the next talk will begin at 6 p.m. IST. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.